Good morning, one and all. Today's topic, uh, in continuation to the yesterday's topic, locomotion and movement, level 1 questions. So, in this, yesterday uh, we have completed up to 48th question. Today, we'll start with the 41 question, and in this, the question first. In a striated muscle, release of calcium plus ions into the sarcoplasm depends upon a development of action potential in the sarcoplasm, efflux of Na plus from the sarcoplasm, and influx of calcium plus into the exoplasm, release of acetylcholine by motor neuron. So when you see onto this question, striated muscle means already you know that skeletal muscle, and release of calcium plus ions into the sarcoplasm depends upon. So calcium ions, influx or efflux of calcium ions will initiate the muscle contraction and muscle relaxation. So from the given options, four options, if you see, development of action potential in the sarcolemma, efflux of Na plus from the sarcoplasm, influx of plasm, releasing of acetylcholine by motor neuron. So generally, when an action potential is generated in a muscle fiber, it produces the release of calcium plus ions from the sarcoplasmic reticulum occurs. Then calcium bind to the subunit of tropomyosin C, that is tropionin C, on the actin filaments and generally activates it. Activated actin binds to the myosin head and forms a cross bridge. You know that cross bridge formation. This bridge pull the actin filaments. This bridge pulls the actin filaments, causing them to slide over filament and thereby the contraction. So in a striated muscle, release of calcium ions into the sarcoplasm will be relating to the generation of action potential in the sarcoplasm. So your option A is the right answer. Next, coming on to the next 41 question. So here you are seeing the diagrammatic representation of the sliding filament theory. Diagrammatic representation of the sliding filament theory. In this, they are asking what is the series of actions that are going to take place in the sliding filament theory. First, from what it should happen, like you can see that the base of this bridge, attachment of cross bridge, movement of myosin during the contraction, and releasing of cross bridge. So this is the phenomenon that has to occur or take place in the case of the muscle sliding filament theory during the muscle contraction. So we can go with the answer. The phenomenal change that is taking place is obviously it is shown that D is followed by B, B is followed by A is followed by C. So you can write anything, but the correct format of understanding of this question is B. So D is followed by B, B is followed by A is followed by C. So next, next anatomical unit of muscle is, already you know that anatomical unit means structural and functional unit is sarcomere, but anatomical unit of muscle is obviously the sarcomere. Sarcomere is the functional and structural unit which forms the muscle fiber. So here muscle fiber is the anatomical unit of muscle anatomical unit. Answer is D. Answer is D. Here you are seeing that A and band B. So in this you need to find out only the A and B band and select the incorrect ones. So in this incorrect ones you need to find out it is formed of myosin and actin filament. It is formed of only actin filaments. It gives appearance, it gives dark appearance. In the central zone, it has dark cries member or Z line, dark cries membrane or member or Z line. In the central zone, it has light line or H zone. It is anisotropic, it is isotropic. So when you see onto these options, when you try to find out the options, it is formed of myosin and actin filaments. So it is right. And generally when you see onto the eye band, more of the actin filaments is present. This is also right. It gives light appearance because of the actin and myofilament. It gives anisotropic or dark appearance, so it is wrong. And it gives because of only actin bands, it gives light appearance, so it is wrong. Next, in the central zone, in the dark rays membrane or Z line, in the center zone, it has dark cries membrane or Z line present in the eye membrane, half of the eye membrane, so it is wrong. In the central zone, it has a light Hansen zone. So this is comes to this is these are right, but here they are wrong. And now coming on to the next one, it is anisotropic. Already you know that it is anisotropic. A bands itself says that because of the arrangement it is anisotropic and it is isotropic. So here option 2, option 2, these two are wrong, these two are wrong, so you need to select 2 and 3. And C option is showing this incorrect statement, so C option is the right option. Next, I band is bisected by already you know between the two Z lines the sarcomere is present. Sarcomere is in the middle of the I band, so answer for this question is Z line is bisected by I band is bisected by Z line. Next, next, white fibers differ from the red fibers in having a high number of mitochondria, high amount of myoglobin, high amount quantity of ATP, high quantity of sarcoplasmic reticulum. So when you see onto this, white fibers differ from the red fibers in having the high quantity of a high quantity of the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So mitochondria is also taken into consideration, but the muscle fiber depends on the sarcoplasmic reticulum and its functionality. Sarcoplasmic reticulum and its functionality. So option is D. Next question. Here you are seeing the four options for a question. So in these four options, you can see that which of the following options is mismatched with its description. So rigor mortis, that is dead body, rigidity of the muscles that occurs because of uh, death is the right one. And hypertrophy, hyper means increase in the size of the muscle. Hypertrophy means increase in the muscle size. This is also right. Atrophy, reduction in the size of an individual muscle is called atrophy. So muscle fatigue is a condition where the muscle feels restless condition. Single isolated after prolonged stimulation. It is a rapid isolated contractions of the muscle fibers uh, is called as so continuous and fast isolated contractions of the muscle fibers, which may lead to the production of lactic acid, will lead to the muscle fatigue. So in when there is a muscle fatigue, energy supplied to the muscle is reduced because of continuous contractions or stimulus, or the stimulus given gradually decreases. Then the muscle will show the same contraction as it would have shown in the same strength of stimulus previously. So there is a fall in the force of the contraction of a prolonged stimulation or fatigue. It is because of production, generally it is because of the production of the lactic acid, and the energy resource, that is the energy currency ATP, is also lacking in this system. So your answer A, option A is the mismatched component of the 47 question. These three are all right. So here option A. Next, what is not true? What is not true? What is not true? Not true about muscle contraction. So you need to have the thing concerned to this, what is not true. Okay, here actin and myosin take actomyosin. Phosphate reserve comes from the phosphocreatinine. Chemical energy is converted energy, and mechanical energy is converted into chemical energy. Every time chemical energy is converted into mechanical energy, and mechanical energy is never convert, it is energy is converted into the work, but it is not converted once again into the chemical energy. So here D option is the wrong option, or not true, related to the muscle contraction. Next, okay, muscles which are immune to fatigue are, means which are not uh, feel restlessness, or generally unstable muscles, they feel restlessness. Jaw muscles are also under skeletal muscles. So all most of the muscles which are concerned with the skeletal system or striated muscles generally have that they need rest, but cardiac muscles, in spite of these muscles are striated muscles, they will be immune to this fatigue, or they won't get fatigue. And cardiac muscles, they take the rest. The cardiac muscles will take the rest during the muscle contraction only, and they never, generally never get fatigued. If they get fatigued, uh, the person is died. And they are also having the large amount mitochondria, so they make themselves not fatigued, or they will overcome the fatigue condition. Next, next question. Next question. Myoglobin is present fibers, white muscle fibers, red muscle fibers, both B and C. So generally myoglobin, so it is mostly present in the red muscles because of presence of more quantity of mitochondria, and they are more functional. So here red muscle fibers. So in this red muscle fibers are consisting of more amount of myoglobin. So here, based on the sarcoplasmic contents, situation of the nuclei and the number of elements formed, two types of fibers recognized as striated muscles, where fiber, white fiber and red fiber. White fiber have generally less mitochondria, but the red fiber has to work fast and they have the short duration, so they need more amount of mitochondria. These red muscle fibers are present in the eyeball muscles, flight muscles of sparrow, and red muscles fibers or slow muscles fiber processing red hemoprotein called myoglobin and abundant mitochondria. These can perform slow, sustained work over long period without getting fatigued. Generally, extensor muscles at the back and flight muscles of the kites will be having these muscles. So these are present in the extensor muscles at back position, and also these are present in the flight muscles of the kite. Next, light band has which of the following protein? Obviously, light band means actin protein will be present more. So here generally actin and myosin are generally, as you know, that they are the two contractile proteins present in the myofibrils. Dark band, generally in the dark band of myofibril is composed of more amount of, already we have discussed that myosin, while the light band is consisting of the actin filament. Actin filament. Next, coming on to the next one, an oxygen lacking develops during tetanus, sarcoplasmic reticulum, anaerobic work and aerobic. Aerobic means already you know that presence of O2, sarcoplasmic release. Sarcoplasmic release means releasing of calcium plus ions. Aerobic means in the presence of oxygen. Tetanus means the muscles remain in the contracted state. But oxygen depth is generally because of the anaerobic work, that is in the little presence of oxygen or complete absence of O2 in the body. So this will next question 54 question 54 question. In the 54 question, originally human skeleton consists of 270 bones which are fused to become 206. Out of these, how many bones are present in the ear or sickles? 3 plus 3, that is 6. Malus, incus and stapes 3, and into the second ear 6. So 6 bones are present in the ear only, that is malus, incus and stapes. Based on the centrum shape and position, vertebra with flat centrum at both ends is called as. So here procellus means not having this centrum shape. Procellus means before having that, and amphicellus means two sides. Heterocellus means many positions. Acellus means vertebrum with flat centrum at both ends is called as acellus. They don't have the knocking bone or connecting bone. Next one, no. So in the acellus condition, you can see that they will not be having this concavity here, will be absent in the acellic condition of the bone. Next, 56 question. Epiphyseal plate helps in. Already you know that thickness of the bone, elongation of the bone, formation of the bone, all of this. Formation of bone is because of the osteocytes, and thickness of the bone because of calcium accumulation, and epiphyseal plate present in the bones at the jointal region, generally meant for elongation of the epiphyseal bone is generally meant for elongation of the bone and increasing the organism size of the organism. Next, generally you know that human head consists of how many bones. So already you know that cranium, I mean human skull consists of 29 bones, that is 28 plus 1, that is one is lower jaw, and this 28 in the are skull bones, 8 are cranial bones, 6 are ear bones. 14 plus 8, 22, 22 plus 6, 28 plus 1, 29 bones. So your skull bones are 8. Answer for this question is 8. So is 8 is epiphyseal bone consists of cranial bones 57 consist of 8 bones, that is that 8 bones are two parietal bones, two front temporal lobe bones, one two that is 2 plus 2 4 plus 1 plus 1 sphenoid bone, that is 2 temporal bones, two parietal bones, sphenoidal bone plus one frontal bone plus one ethmoid bone plus one occipital bone. So these are the 8 bones: two temporal, two occipital, one sphenoid, one ethmoid, one frontal, and one sphenoid. So altogether 8 bones. Answer for this question is 8 bones. 8 bones. So the we have discussed related to the cranium. Next, so here there you can see a diagrammatic representation. Here you can see a diagrammatic representation. This diagrammatic representation is of a human hind limb, and so here the labelings were done. What are the two wrongly labeled components here? So you know that the upper part thigh bone is also called as femur, fibula, tibia, and the metatarsals, tarsals, and phalangeals. Phalangeals are the 14 limbs present to the fingers. So phalangeals is wrongly matched, and tibia, fibia. So this bone you are seeing, this bone is called fibula. This is called tibia, femur, tibia, fibia. But is wrongly matched, and also you can see that the phalangeals should be this one. So the phalangeals are shown matched, and fibula is given. This is actually tibia, so this is called fibula. So here the option C, that is C option is wrongly matched in the human hind limb. Next, coming on to the next coming on to the next question. Matrix of cartilage is slightly pliable means blendable due to oxygen salt, keratin sulfate, chondroitin salts, and calcium salts. So arsenic salt is produced by osteocytes. Keratin sulfate is a component of our system. Calcium salts, and generally the answer for this question is chondriactin salts. So this is present in the cartilage. They are generally going to provide the resistance to the compression, thus making it slightly bendable. Pliable means bendable as the property it makes. Because of this bendable property, it will make it flexible. It is generally flexible in nature. Next, lower jaw of man is made up of, already we have discussed that it is made up of only one bone, that is 28 plus 1 29. So it is only one bone. Next, coming on to the 61st question. 60 61st question, which of the following is a sesamoid bone? Here, pterygoid bone, patella, sphenoid, and palatine. So you know that palatine is present in the oral cavity. Petrino, petri, petrigo, pterygoid bone is present in the and pre-sphenoid in the skull region. Patella is the portion present which is not formed in the generally. Patella is generally a sesamoid bone. This is present in the knee joint, knee cups. These are also called as knee cups or knee joints, and these are found by the ossification of tendon muscle. Tendon is a type of connective tissue which is connecting the bone to the muscle, where tendon moves over the bony surface. So tendon, patella is a kneecap which is generally a sesamoid bone, and it is really formed by the ossification or main connection of sesamoid bone. So here the patella is formed because of ossification. Ossification. Next, vertebral canal is found in lumbar vertebra, caudal vertebra, thoracic vertebra, and cervical vertebra. Vertebral canal is found in lumbar means just below the rib cage on the backside. Caudal vertebra means sacrum and coccyx. Cervical vertebra means between the skull and the thoracic vertebra. So probably here the fluid flows. Vertebral canal can be found in this, that is between the seven bones of the neck region, and thoracic vertebra means from the shoulder region to the ribs just below above the abdominal region. So here the answer for the vertebral canal can be found in the case of the cervical 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 vertebrae. C option. Next, lumbar vertebrae are found in lumbar vertebrae is just below the abdominal region and just above the pelvic region. So it is the generally called as a abdominal region, as we have discussed earlier. As we have discussed earlier. Next, coming on to the 64 question. 64 question. In the 64 question, so here zygomatic bone is part of a cranium, part of a facial bone and forms upper jaw, part of a facial bone and it helps in the formation of eye socket, part of a facial bone and it forms the movable joint. So here zygomatic bone is present in the skull, that 14, in one of the 14 bones, the zygomatic and it helps in the formation of the eye socket and along with the sphenoid and ethmoid bones. So your option C is the answer for the zygomatic bone. Next, coming on to the next one, the vertebral column is connected to the pelvic girdle in the vertebral column is connected to the pelvic girdle with the sacral region or the lumbar region. So answer for this is sacral region. Sacral, that is sacrum and coccyx. Next, coming on to the 66th question, which of the following bone in mammals does not articulate with any other bone or move? So hyoid bone is present in this region. Hyoid bone is present in this region, or this is also called as a tongue bone, and is a single bone that is laid in the upper part of the throat region just above the laryngeal region. It serves as a point of attachment for the some of the muscles of the tongue and floor of the mouth, but does not articulate with the, so it does not connect with the other bones. So and next one, so answer for this is hyoid. Answer for this is hyoid bone. Hyoid bone, B option. Next, appendicular skeleton. Appendicular means supporting skeleton. So it is generally shoulders and hind limbs to attach to the pelvic girdle and pectoral girdle. So here the answer for this appendicular skeleton, appendicular skeleton is girdles and their limbs. Next, number of, already we have discussed that cervical vertebra means 8. So here 7 bones. Some say that 8, some places that 7, but 7 is the 7 plus 1 you need to call, that is the cervical vertebra. Number of pairs of floating ribs in the man are generally 7 plus 2, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 2. So here floating ribs are mean the for true ribs, false ribs and floating ribs. Floating ribs are 11 and 12. So answer for this question is 2, that is 11th and 12th ribs are called as floating ribs. Next, each vertebra has a central hollow portion through which spinal cord passes. The hollow portion of vertebra is called as, each vertebra has a central hollow portion through which spinal cord passes. This vertebra is called as neural canal. Neural canal. Foramen magnum is present in the brain, and central canal and foramen ovale is also a part of a brain, and central canal is present in the mean central canal is present, which is connecting the different lobes of the brain. So your answer for this is neural canal option. So with this we'll stop for the day, and you can do the remaining questions